Our big story at 6, the 2026 FIFA World Cup is coming to Atlanta. That tournament expected to bring a massive economic boom to the city. However, Atlanta's selection as a host city is now mounting pressure on the city and developers to get major projects in the downtown corridor finished on time. CBS 46's Adam Murphy is live near Mercedes-Benz Stadium tonight. And Adam, you spoke with officials behind one of the biggest redevelopment efforts going on right now in downtown.
Yeah, good evening, Tracy. When it's all said and done, Atlanta is going to look and feel like a new city, but still a lot of work to be done just outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the FIFA World Cup will be. If you look over there, we've got not only underground Atlanta that needs to be redeveloped, but in between those two buildings over there, there's a vacant parking lot, 50 acres, and that's got to be redeveloped, and it's otherwise known as the Gulch. The work is underway to get Atlanta ready to welcome the world in 2026.
This is going to be, Battery 10.0.
Brian McGowan is president of the new Centennial Yards development near Mercedes-Benz Stadium, otherwise known as the Gulch.
This site we're standing on right now is literally where Atlanta was founded. The original name of the city was Terminus because all the rail lines crossed in this location. So to see a rebirth of the city at the origination point for the city is going to be very exciting.
Atlanta is one of 16 cities across North America that will host the FIFA World Cup in just 4 years, perhaps the biggest sporting event in our city since the 1996 Olympic Games. And the economic impact for businesses and hotels is going to be monumental.
So just to give you some perspective, for us, like for a typical month, for example, in the middle of summer when this would happen, we're looking at $500,000, a little more, and it's easily going to do probably 3 times that.
The Centennial Yards development encompasses 8 million square feet and is expected to be the most noticeable improvement to the area, consisting of condos, shops, restaurants, and bars.
It'll be a sports and entertainment district, so restaurants and bars, and this is where people are going to want to come before the game and stay after the games. It's the right next step. It's the one thing that we don't have right now. We don't have a great downtown, and this project's going to change that.
And the Gulch, which has been a vacant parking lot for years, is a 50-acre piece of property right in the heart of the city. I'm told that only half of that property will be completely developed by the time the World Cup comes to town, but still it will be a significant improvement to the area, and it's going to be really cool to get a brand new look for the city of Atlanta. We're live outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in downtown Atlanta. Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
For just $67, you can make as many videos.
Hello and welcome to Exposed. I'm your host, Nathaniel Dyer. Some earth-shattering news for Atlanta. The World Cup coming in 2026. Some news in addition to that is a budget that was passed by City Hall. I'm going to read this tweet by Dickens. Unanimous in record time, the largest budget in the city's history. Great job at ATL Council and my entire cabinet. What a coincidence. You get the largest budget to really kick off the redevelopment, or I say destruction of impoverished communities within Atlanta, all with the benefit of possibly $5 billion in economic activity, with maybe about 500 million in profits. And that's just a guesstimate. Now, in the news clip, it mentioned that a lot of this development is going to happen around the stadium. That's, we're just going to say that's Arthur Blank's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Okay. The one that he constructed maybe, I'd say less than maybe 5 years ago, around that time, to the tune of $2 billion. Supposedly it was over budget. And in the shadows of that $2 billion stadium was, or still is, an elementary school. Well, I say was because they closed it. It's Bethune Elementary School, where young people went to school on a daily basis to get their education. That school sat in the shadows of that Falcons soccer, anything else you want to call it, stadium. which is in close proximity, or which was in close proximity to the World of Coke, the Georgia Aquarium, the Civil and Human Rights Museum. I mean, all the amenities that a young boy or girl trying to gain an education at such a young age could take advantage of, but they closed it. They closed it. That was under Maria catastrophe. All right. So another school that was closed was Kennedy Middle School as well. And then they took the children, the students in Bethune, put them in the Hollis. So if you follow the trail of what I'm getting at, for some, it's going to be beneficial. For others, it's going to be destructive. It's going to cause a great deal of instability in your lives. There's 6 years ago, I had this show called The Anthem with Pure Soul, in which I said that soccer is the name of the game, and I still will say the same. Soccer is the name of the game. And reason being is this World Cup. It's going to bring international, worldwide attention on Atlanta for a short period of time. Now, most people would think that, okay, well, once the game is over, it's over, right? No. It gives the players here in Atlanta the opportunity to reap benefits for the next 10, 30, let's say 50 years. Okay. Because they're going to put a huge investment into making this thing happen. You can already see the residential is going up all over Atlanta. The housing stock has been either refurbed or, just everything's high dollar, high rent, high mortgages, everything. And it's because they're amping up for the invitation to Atlanta for the new residents that are supposed to replace the old residents. That makes sense. Does that make sense? To break it down, those who are here may no longer be here once the World Cup comes. And then, of course, once it goes, you can hear in the report they're saying it's going to be a new Atlanta. It's going to be a new experience. I had the pleasure of going to Colorado recently, and that was my first time going. And when I tell you, it seemed like that place was taken from another world. I mean, everything was just pristine, perfect. Seemed like it was perfectly placed. The architecture was just something to marvel at. And I said, you know what? This is going to be the future Atlanta, or Atlanta's going to replicate something as to what's going on there. You had the largest art structures. You had, everything was done, laid out just to a T. All of the homes seemed like similar architecture. Everything seemed to be cohesive. So if you look at Atlanta and the lay of the land, there's Thomasville, which is under attack, and that's the word I would use. You have Bowen Homes that's coming back online. So you can say the Donnelly Hollowell corridor is under attack. And then let's circle back around to Washington Park, Vine City, English Avenue, where they must complete the work, or can I say the destabilization there. I'm going to jump into education for a second. With education, we have 4 vacancies, or had, in the role of principal at Washington High School, Tuskegee Airmen. We have Hollis Innovation Academy. And see, there is one more school. It may come to me soon, but we have 4 vacancies within the Washington Park area, right at the time where the World Cup is supposed to take front and center. All right. The Gulch, which is maybe less than, I'm going to use Washington Park as a marker. The Gulch is maybe less than 2-3 miles from Washington High School. They're going to put millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in the Gulch. So if they're putting hundreds of millions into the Gulch, what does that mean for the surrounding areas? Let's say a 5-mile radius, which includes Washington High School, Hollis Innovation Academy, Brown Middle School. And I'm thinking that may be the other school because I heard this person may have been promoted. So we're going to throw Brown in there. Tuskegee Airmen. Maybe that was the other, Tuskegee Airmen. So let me get this number right. Washington High School, Hollis Innovation, Tuskegee Airmen, Brown, M. Agnes Jones is in the area as well. And then, of course, there's Thane, which may be under the Frederick Douglass. But I'm about to throw Frederick Douglass in there as well, because if you go to the 5-mile radius, they're out there as well on the line of Donnelly, Hollowell, and as Joseph E. Boone goes all the way out towards 285. Yeah. So all of this is going to be encompassed. Those schools are vulnerable once again. And when you have no leadership in the principal role, what does it say about the future? And the ones that they had really didn't move the dial for the children. You know, they were in the low percentile of success. And I can't put it on the children. I always start with the leadership. Children have the innate ability to learn and to learn anything quickly if taught properly. So Black boys and girls are on the chopping block once again. They will use them to usher in this whole thing, gentrification. You can go back through history with Techwood Homes when the Olympics came, Capitol Homes. The list goes on. So the question at this point in time is, how do we stop it? Or do we want to stop it? Or how do you take advantage of it for the stability of your community? I think that would probably be the better question. I mean, development should be a great thing if used properly. But unfortunately, it's been used as a weapon of destruction in Black communities, especially those communities that are vulnerable, like a Forest Cove. I'm going to go Bowen Homes, the Techwood Homes. You know, those communities really should have come up with development, but they were decimated. Decimated because of they wanted to label them crime-ridden, violent, low economic, impoverished, and they're above all uneducated. Now, we can truly benefit from this as a community. It's 2026 when this thing's going to happen, okay? But let's look at the timeline in regards to the major players and what they're going to do. Now, they've already started on this. They knew that they were going to get this, win the bid, okay? Probably about 20 years ago, I say, because they put all the pieces in place. And education is the foundation of all of this. First of all, they had to target the area. And majority of the time, it's going to be low-income Black communities. They have to put a superintendent in place to get the schools closed. And not only that, first of all, she's got to create a formula where the students are going to appear low performing. Okay. So that's all across the board. All of our communities are vulnerable with that. You don't have not one school in Atlanta public schools where you can say is highly successful in predominantly Black neighborhoods. And that is sad. But yet, the people they march through are supposed people of color who are supposed to be from some of the greatest schools and backgrounds, the Harvards, the Spelmans, you name it, and they can't push the dial. But yet, big business benefits. Some of the players in this move, and of course, everybody's familiar with Arthur Blank, the World Congress Center, Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau, the ASC, which is the Atlanta Sports Council, and that's pretty much the Chamber of Commerce, and your other players, beverage distributors. You're gonna have real estate, construction. Sure, we can throw Cousins Properties in there because they're bringing Visa, Airbnb, Microsoft, and Google. All of these players are coming here at the same time. Pretty much that ground has been broken now. Yeah, so I was saying the timeline for the major players, they're moving. They're setting the stage for the things, the outcome to benefit themselves. Okay, they're planting roots in that 5-mile radius around the Gulch, and I'm gonna just expand it, maybe 10 miles, but definitely that 5-mile radius is going to be heavily concentrated on development, on residential, entertainment, and pretty much just say gentrification 10,000. You may not see, now Atlanta's supposed to be this chocolate city and all this kind of stuff, but by 2026, it will be highly improbable. I think I need some water. If you see many people of color in the downtown area. Now, I'm going to make this prediction. I predict by that time, city council will be maybe 15, 20% black. School board, maybe out of 9, maybe 2. And you probably have, for the first time, a white superintendent or a white mayor by 2026. It's all possible. They have gotten everything they needed from these supposed people of color who don't do anything for the neighborhoods that need revitalization. They pimp and pillage. So what I wanted to do was just set the stage and the tone as to what this truly means for Atlanta. Now, the other side is great, but regardless of your race, color, background, or whatever you want to adhere to, is going to impact you. So on our end, how can we benefit? Can we come together as a community, put together some businesses, some tools, some components to help our situations out so that we are stabilized within all of this? I mean, 500 billion should be a lot to go around, but I believe that 500 billion is just for the major players. So we're gonna have to find our own chest of dollars to bring home to our communities. So just wanted to bring that out today. It's a quick show just to have in mind what's going on in your community when you see those streets being paved, when you see new lights or new items going up, and you're like, wow, they're putting that up for me. And no, that's not for you. That's in preparation for the guests. Not only the guests, but the people who are going to try to displace us in the community. But as always, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to grow and develop with big business. Let me correct that. We're going to grow and we're going to develop with progress. Okay. And I would say we'll have to steer it in the right direction if it's to benefit us all. And we must fight and make our voices known. Please, let's look at history and understand that a lot of times we're not invited to the party. Okay. We may get the invitation afterwards, but that's after all of the hors d'oeuvres and the nice beverages have been drank or have been, consumed. So let's start now. It's never too late. Let's protect our schools. Let's protect our seniors, our children, and make sure that we have the agreements in place for success. This has been Exposed. I'm your host, Nathaniel Dyer, and I look forward to seeing you next week as we dive a little bit deeper. All right. Love you.